Hey everyone, this is Austin, and I'm just gonna say this episode proves and solidifies why Shield Hero is such an amazing anime. And God, even though I read through the backstory, I still hurt. I'm not gonna lie, I heard it quite a bit, and such a well executed episode. But let's get into the review. So we start with a flashback of when Raphtalia was younger, and we see that Rifana, or her friend, I actually, thank God they told us her name, I completely forgot almost, but she asked Raphtalia if she loves anyone, and Raphtalia doesn't really think much of it, but Rifana is thinking completely different, and you see this kind of difference is because Raphtalia says she loves her dad, and Rifana says she wants to marry one of the heroes, and like the shield hero, and we see this is actually when the first wave hits, and we see Keel actually in the beginning too, and we have a flashback to, well, flash forward to where we are, and we have Raphtalia actually having the noble begging for his life, but he is not to be trusted, obviously, and he sees that Raphtalia was one of the enslaved that he had, and he basically tries to plead, well, say that she owes him for, keeping him alive. She wouldn't survive without him, and I know a lot of you probably want to punch this person, this guy, and look, don't worry. I understand it completely. I know I wanted to. But we see that Raphtalia refuses to forgive him. And she actually was going to go and kill him, but Nafumi, being the person, quite wise actually, stepping in and saying, if you killed him, would that bring you closure? And she thinks, and she basically takes the higher ground of saying, I'm not going to kill him because I would be no different than him, the monster he is. And we see the nobleman kind of gets really pissed off and tries to kill her, but she stabs him with the magic sword, and he falls back through the window, and people think, oh, he's dead, oh no, ho ho ho. But we see that Raphtalia kind of thinks that she's the one that did that, but Nafumi comforts her, saying, you didn't cause it, it was himself, kind of thing. And he's basically being the father that isn't there for her. And we see that Nafumi actually lets Raphtalia go underground to, the chamber of what's going on, and she's descending into it, and we have all these flashbacks of her being younger, and she has a flashback of her parents, well, a flashback and a flashback session, that's how I felt, but, her father was telling her to play nice and smile with, basically, and we see her visiting her parents' grave after the wave, and we see Loli-kun, Raphtalia, telling the villagers that they need to rebuild because that's what the Fallen would want. They want them to rebuild, and we see Rifana and Keel back her up, and she was successful in encouraging them to do it, and we have a little heart-to-heart, I think this is quite beautiful, of, Keel asking, hey, why aren't you sad about, your parents dying? And she goes, no, I am, but my father told me to smile because it's the best thing you can kind of do, even in the hard times. And we see the kingdom, or the knights of the kingdom, show up and pillage the village and take everyone away, and we see that Raphtalia and Rifana get taken away, and they arrive to the place that they're going to, obviously, currently, and we see a flash, well, they're back to the current time, and Nafumi starts to get angry because he sees what she's went through, and he's rightfully angry because no one should go through that kind of stuff, and I know this episode may piss a lot of people off with certain, well, I won't call them people, but nonetheless, it's one of those hard episodes because we get to see everything, and we see a flashback of, Raphtalia being tortured, and she's smiling because that's what she was taught, and we see the nobleman, he's not getting anything out of it. He's a really messed up person because he enjoys torturing people, and we see Rifana was completely different. It was a good contrast to see what the difference between Raphtalia and everyone else is, and that's good character development there, but we see that Raphtalia starts to take care of Rifana, and Rifana thinks that the shield hero is going to come and save them. And we see that Rifana is just extremely sick, and we see how we learn a bit about the flag and how it's a symbol of how demihumans can live and rebuild. and Raphtalia tells Raphtalia that she wants to go back home, and that right there actually really hurt because the dub did pretty good. I'm currently still watching the dub to give it an honest review, and I went back and forth with the Japanese dub, but that was quite painful to hear. And we see that Raphtalia made a flag for Raphtalia to comfort her, and we kind of see Raphtalia getting it taken away, and this is kind of implicating that, well, Raphtalia wasn't really responding, and that, you know what it means, basically. And we see that, Raphtalia was being sold, and this is kind of how she was at the capital with, Nofumi, and she doesn't think she can ever smile again. And we have back to the current time, they actually found survivors, and they find Keel. And we see that Keel doesn't recognize, Raphtalia because she's older, and we see Raphtalia breaking, Keel free. Notice how I'm saying the name, okay? For the love of God, people, please do not spoil stuff. I can't stress enough. I know I have to say it every time we have Keel in this, but we see that she brings up old memories of, what she had with Keel, and she convinces him, and we see Nofumi actually go out of his way to heal Keel, and Keel tells Raphtalia that, Raphtalia isn't alive, and we see this kind of internal clash of Raphtalia not wanting to believe that her friend is gone, and she rushes to the old cell to find nothing but her her bones, and we kind of see a flashback in between of, Raphtalia wanting to marry the Shield Hero, and to say the least, that's going to play quite a big part in the entire story, so do remember that one. I'm not going to spoil it, but for the people that watch my previous videos, you know what I'm implicating, but we see that the nice guy tells Melty that this kind of stuff happens all over the place, and we kind of see the difference between, the sheltered life and the people that have seen the stuff on the front lines kind of thing, and it's just, I have to say, the crying, oh man, that hurt, because, it just, wow. Just wow, that's all I can say, but we see that Raphtalia kind of explains to Nofumi who Raphtalia was and how she wanted to meet the Shield Hero, and we see Raphtalia kind of just hating herself because she couldn't save everyone, and Keel kind of tries to comfort her, and we see Raphtalia just keep descending into darkness. She thinks she's not worthy because she ended up killing someone indirectly, and Raphtalia thinks that she doesn't deserve anything that she has. And Nofumi is the one that broke her out of it, not Keel. And I found that quite amusing because it's kind of how they work. That's how they work. They both need each other, and Nofumi tells Raphtalia that she's the main reason why he didn't get up and run. She's the main reason why he's still here doing stuff. And the thing they cut out, I wish they didn't cut out, and probably isn't in the light novel in the manga, we have a little monologue of Nofumi saying that any world with Raphtalia in it is a world worth saving. And I wish they would have put that in there because this would have made a little more sense, or have more oomph. But Nofumi tells Raphtalia that basically to use this, what happened here, to not allow to anyone to have, get hurt anymore, and we have a sweet Raphtalia and Raphtalia moment, and it kind of was a send-off, and Raphtalia remembers her promise to bring the flag back to the people, and we see at the end everything's getting serious because the nobleman isn't dead, as I told you guys. But anyways, we see that the noble guy, or I'm gonna just call him the jerk, but he is unsealing this monster that the heroes couldn't defeat, so they had to seal it away, and that should tell you how powerful this monster is, and it's a T-Rex. But overall, I wanted to go over a couple things before we get further into, the end. Raphtalia, this kind of shows a good contrast to what she used to be and who she is now, and I am working on the video, don't worry. I know a lot of you are like, hey Austin, when is that video coming out? It's coming soon, don't worry. But I think this episode really did a justice to Raphtalia's, backstory, and I'm very happy they didn't shortcut it. I was afraid they were going to, but they proved me wrong, and I'm so happy with this episode. This is probably my favorite episode out of the entire Shield Hero series, and just the music was beautiful, everything was well done. And it's just good to see, where she came from. And Raphtalia is going to, all her promises and wishes are going to be carried over to Raphtalia. And it's going to be amazing. And I can't wait to see, more time with Keel and everyone else. It's just going to start picking up. And of course, we have the next title for the next episode, the Florian Queen, and it's exactly what you think. But get ready for it. It's going to be a pretty action-packed episode. I know this one, some people don't, like to have story in their stuff for some reason, but overall, wonderful episode. What did you think? Did you, hurt like I did? I'm pretty sure a lot of you did, because this is just such a great episode. I can't stress enough. But anyways, guys, do share this video, and if you are new here, do consider subscribing. And I am going to have a Shield Hero video that you guys asked me questions. I'm going to answer out probably tomorrow, so I'll see you then. But thank you honestly for watching this video, and I will catch you later. This has been Austin, and I'm signing out. Peace.